So initially, when I was trying to think of a couple things that I like to do for helping someone through their labor process, I was trying to think of something creative and different that wasn't already mentioned in the class before. And really, what it came down to, though, is my favorite things to do are actually super duper simple. And really, that's working with water and changing positions. That, in my opinion, is some of the best possible ways to help cope with the labor, to make the birthing person feel better through it, to help them calm down more, and to help labor progress as it should, too. And that can all be kind of worked with when it comes to water. So water and positions. So with water, one of the things that I like to do for people is when they're in the tub or the shower, and they're having contractions that are really, that are really hard. They're getting real close to the second stage of labor. They're in deep first stage labor. And I find that people really like to have running water on their tummies. So if you have either a pitcher or something like that, or a bowl, anything that you can kind of scoop the water up and just sort of gently pour it over their belly, or if they're in this position in the tub or something like that, even just pouring it on their back, their low back area there. That really, really helps them cope with the labor pains a lot better. So the times that you would use it is when they're just in pain, whenever they want it, really. Now, the times that you don't obviously use water in the pool is when you need gravity to help you along. If labor is not progressing enough, and it's probably because the pool is not allowing enough gravity to bring the head down farther and farther. So another position. So that's pretty simple. So I wanted to kind of add in at least one other thing that I like to do as far as positions go. There are like endless amounts of positions practically, but this is particularly for when they have been in pretty rigorous labor for a while. They're really tired, or perhaps they didn't get a lot of rest the night before, but labor is moving forward and they need to be able to conserve as much energy as they can while they allow the baby to kind of just move down. So that's one of the sideline positions. I'm going to scooch you over this way so you can see me here with this pillow. So they're going to be lying down. They'll have a pillow of their own, or however they want to kind of, get themselves comfortable with their head. And then this pillow is probably not enough. I would probably use a little bit more, ideally. But I'd have them laying on their what's called semi-prone, where they get their knee up as high as they can, and their back arm is down here, and they're just sort of laying. And really, ideally, you would have this pillow kind of propping them up all the way up there. And that's so that they can move through the contractions, they can push as they need to, but they can rest between these contractions. And they're not having to use nearly so much energy. We put a blue pad here. You can also do this with maybe a peanut ball if you get the right size peanut ball for the right person. That's also really helpful. It helps to open up the pelvic outlet. So this is going to be when they're deep into first stage, if they're not in second stage labor and they're just really tired. Yeah, really more like second stage labor, and they're trying to get through this pushing phase, or they're moving into second stage labor. So that way you've got the baby is fully engaged already. The baby can come through. We're opening all of that up, and they're able to rest as much as possible and conserve their energy. So those are a couple of my favorites that weren't already mentioned. So thanks a lot. I hope this was helpful.